Hey everyone, welcome to the Oasis podcast. I'm your host, Miss AJ. Thanks for tuning in. An oasis is something that provides refuge, relief, or a pleasant contrast, and that is exactly what you will find tuning into the Oasis podcast. This is a space where I and special guests will be cultivating intentional and honest conversations about life's journey. Subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts and watch us on YouTube now. Hey y'all, hey. Thank you for joining me again on a new episode of the Oasis podcast. I know, it's been a while. It's been a little while. And I took an impromptu break. I wanted to come back soon after my birthday. Well, I think I did record an episode after my birthday. But I wanted to update you guys about all the birthday festivities. However, like I told y'all, I was in the mind space of I'm just chilling, and I really wasn't forcing myself to record if I didn't want to, but it was mainly because I didn't feel I had anything. The things that I wanted to record would not have left me in the headspace that I wanted to be. So I felt like I didn't have anything to record because of that. And this being my 111th episode, if you know, you know, I wanted it to be something that was a lot more grounded, focused, intentional. And this topic actually popped into my head just a couple of days ago. And I said, you know what? Yeah, this feels right. And so I said, let's go for it. So as you can see, the title of the episode is Never Knew a Love Like This. And it feels right. You know, I don't know if you guys know this line. I think Common has it in one of his songs. Never knew a love like this. Gotta be something neat like this. Queen, I ain't seen you in a minute. That's what kept floating in my head when I was thinking of a title. And so that is what I wanted to speak on today. I don't know if you all have ever heard the saying, you never really loved till you had a child. I'm really not sure if I've ever given this saying much thought till now, in all honesty. And I mean, partly to do with the fact that I haven't been a birth mother, right? I've been in villages, had a hand in raising children, but it's nothing that, you know, I've done firsthand until recently. And, you know, I've talked about my journey with you all about, you know, getting pregnant, pregnancy, postpartum. And in looking back on that journey, I've now can really say, yeah, it's true. It's true. I do feel though that I might be viewing it from a different lens though, and I'm going to dive into that. For most, and by most I mean healed, intentional parents. Again, everyone ain't fully healed, but I say healed / and or, right? Intentional parents, not just someone who just had a baby, because there's a difference. We talked about this, okay? Just because someone had a baby, don't make them a parent, don't make them a mama, don't make them a dad, right? But those who are intentionally chose to be parents and show up and do the work and, you know, all that. Loving a child is truly real love. And in my current, you know, state of motherhood, I've been analyzing, especially now baby girl is older and she's growing like so beautifully, so much personality, growing into herself. It's giving me a lot of interactions with her, of course, but a lot of time to like reflect on things of like how I show up for her as she's getting older. And in those instances, I realize how I show up very differently because of the love that I have for her. And it's made me analyze how I've shown up in love for those I've dated romantically, right? Or showed up in love mainly romantically, because that's just how the connection I made, and of course, and how I shown up for family and friends to some degree. But it's making me analyze the romantic love and how I've shown up. And I know, though, the statement that I read, the saying that I read to y'all, I think a lot of people talk about it. Many talk about the love that the child gives you, right? Like, it's pure, it's non-judgmental, it's truly unconditional, right? Like, it's sad and it's scary in a lot of ways. Like, you show, as a parent, that child automatically loves you, right? For the most part. Caveat, for the most part. They automatically love you. They'll cling to you, they'll hold on to you. What, some people don't treat their kids well, and that child will still love you, right? But that is their nature. That's how they come into the world. That's not how I'm viewing it, though. I'm not looking at it from the lens of the child's love, right? Of being a true love. Yes, that child loving you as the caretaker is it's a love that you cannot manufacture, right? Very pure, very unconditional in a lot of ways. But I'm viewing that saying in how you, as the adult, show up in love for that child, right? And I really feel now that I've never truly loved someone by how I'm now loving my child. Like, I think I've come really close with her father, I think. And in now doing this analysis, I said, like, you know what? Yeah, you did show up not fully unconditional. I don't know about this unconditional love thing. And I do think there's caveats to it, right? There are conditions. Not to say that you're going to be discarded or unlovable. However, you're not going to show up into this dynamic and treat me any kind of way and think, just because I love you, I will stay. I can love you and go about my business. And I think her father had the firsthand understanding of that. So that's what I mean about, I have feelings about what unconditional love looks like and feels like. But in loving my daughter, I understand the notion of unconditional love now. Granted, she's still a child, and who knows when she becomes a teenager or an adult herself, if that remains still as strong. I would hope so. But for now, like, I get that. Like, there's nothing she can do, and trust me, she is a toddler. Lord have mercy, these kids make you crazy. Like, oh Jesus, they work your nerve. And even after a day of them working your damn nerve, you still love them so much. Like, and I mentioned this before, my toddler got hands, feel me? And one thing that gets me 0 to 100 real quick is being hit. And even after, they might hit you, cause your eye to like start watering for like 3 hours, like something that just irritates your spirit so freaking much. At the end of the day, you look at them and be like, oh, look at my baby, I love you so much. And I don't think I've ever been like that with anybody, right? Again, gotten close, but definitely not this. And I'm truly, honestly, I'm grateful for the healing that I've done before this whole part of my life. Now, the whole pregnancy and postpartum piece. I really truly feel that I am able to show up for her in this way because I'm coming and I'm loving from a healed place. And I think that's essential, because you do not want to use your child as an emotional crutch. That I feel like, and I've seen a lot of parents do. And so this is why I look at that saying differently. I'm not thinking about, oh yeah, because I think a lot of people think, people have kids a lot of times because they have voice, they have holes. They want to truly feel loved unconditionally. They want to feel, or just loved, period. They want to be loved and feel love without fear, right? And I'll talk about that a little bit. And that's a scary reason to have a kid, honestly. It's scary because that puts so much weight on the child, puts so much pressure on the child. And so if that child doesn't show up in the way that you want or in the way you want to be loved, then what, do you discard the child, right? Do you now mistreat the child? And I'm grateful that even now, she don't owe me nothing but to be on this earth and come to do what she came to do and be.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by the demands of life, motherhood? At AJO Consulting Services, LLC, we offer comprehensive wellness services that include personalized coaching, doula care, consulting, and personal and professional development to help you navigate this beautiful yet challenging phase of life. Our services are designed to support individuals and communities, especially women, birthing people, and families of color, in creating a more joyful and stress-free experience. From family planning to postpartum care, we provide the tools and resources you need to thrive. Let AJO Consulting Services help you prioritize your well-being and create a healthier, happier future for yourself and your family.
Like, she don't owe me nothing. She don't have to say she loves me. She don't have to give me hugs. She don't have to give me kisses. She don't have to do none of it. I'm still going to show up for her, and I'm still going to love her. And that's the piece of it that I feel like I am learning now. You know, in my romantic relationships, especially early on, y'all know I'm reformed and I have grown. But I can say for the last relationship I was in, I really showed up very close to this type of love, but I also see where, okay, I could have shown up differently, right? But I'm very grateful for the healing journey that I have, because for me to be even able to show up for my daughter this way, I had to have gone through what I did before and shown up for her father in a particular way. You know what I mean? And that's why going out of that relationship, I didn't mourn the loss of the relationship as much as kind of mourning.
Hey mommies and soon to be mommies. Are you looking to find and build a supportive community where you and your little one can grow, play, and connect? Our Mommy and Me group is the perfect place for you. Join other moms and babies for shared experiences and heartfelt conversations. It's a wonderful opportunity to connect with other moms who understand the joys and challenges of motherhood, share advice, laughter, and support in welcoming and inclusive environment, create lasting friendships for both you and your child. Whether you're pregnant, a new mom navigating sleepless nights, or looking for somewhere where you and your toddler can come and engage, our group offers a nurturing space for everyone. Join our next group now. We can't wait to welcome you and your little one. Ready to join our community? Learn more and sign up today on Eventbrite, on our website, www.ajoconsultingservices.com, or email me at info@ajoconsultingservices.com to register.
An idea that I had, but I didn't mourn the relationship as much simply because I knew I showed up the best I've ever shown up for somebody. And so that made me feel good, and I was proud of my growth and my healing for that reason. But I think that was definitely a stepping stone for me to be able to love my daughter the way that I do. And in loving my daughter, I think that's a stepping stone to love my person as much as I'm going to love them, right? As much as I'm going to show up for them. Because it just makes me know that I have the capacity, to have the ability, I have the want, right? And I see where the gaps are. Like, those who have kids know, right? They work your nerve and all that stuff. But now I truly feel that my love is truly patient. That is truly like unconditional. It's soft, but it's firm. It's freeing, and it's fierce, right? And I'm being pushed out of my comfort to provide all the 5 love languages to my daughter, not just the ones that I personally like or need, right? So I have my top 2 love languages, and so that's not what I push on my daughter. I give her everything that she wants and requires. And for some, that's uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable, right? So if your person, let's say you meet someone and your person like words of affirmation, and you're not a words of affirmation person, you just
it's going to be very hard to constantly give that person praise or give them, the type of words of affirmation that they need. It's tough. I did, like I said, started working on those things prior to with my child's father. And so I had a little, bit of practice, but now I'm really in the thick of things, right? And at times, the kids do these little things and they want your praise so bad, or they'll do something about 10 times, and every single time they want you to be like, yay. And instead of getting annoyed with that, like, now I'm just like, yes, I'm gonna give you this thing because you need it, period. That's it. That's the end of the story, right? Not that I'm annoyed, I'm not gonna give it, you look for attention, I'm not doing that. And I have in the past with my intimate partners. I'm not gonna hold you, I'm not gonna lie, I'm being very transparent and real, that there's some personalities that I've dealt with and I'm like, oh, you like attention way too much, I ain't doing it, and therefore I wouldn't give it to them. You know what I mean? And that is the role that I played in that relationship, and probably the relationship's demise. But now, instead of seeing it as like a weakness, like instead of seeing it as something negative or detrimental, it's like, yeah, if your person needs that and you have the capacity, right, and you have the want and you care enough about that person, you should provide it for them. You should show up for them in that way. But it really took me, like, again, the past relationship, kind of getting a taste of it, but really raising my daughter to see that picture fully. I cognitively had an understanding, but now I have the practical experience. Now I'm like, aha, this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. And I also now see the importance of it as a whole. And I want to carry that into my next relationship. So I feel like another part is like, I feel that fear is a big part of motherhood and parenthood. Again, maybe not for everybody, but most people I know, that's kind of a part of it, right? Your child is like your heart outside of your body. Again, another saying. I'm like, no, it makes perfect sense, right? For me, I literally feel like I'm holding my breath when she's away from me, and only when she's with me do I feel like I'm actually breathing again. I know that's not real, but that's literally how I feel. There's no way I can explain it. Again, those who know. Okay, and so there's like that fear factor of like, is she safe? Is she okay? Hopefully she's getting everything she needs. She's not being ignored. Whatever the case is, right? She's not getting into anything she's not supposed to be. They're watching her properly. Whatever the case is, right? Now, loving her and being able to love her in this way is very freeing. And when I say freeing, it's freeing in the sense that, and again, I think it ties to the saying, you can fully love your child, right? Without fear of being hurt or them not loving you back. And I think that's why people really cling to their children and loving their children and throwing themselves into those children, because there's no fear about that they're not gonna love me back. Well, at least not when they're small, child. When they become a teenager or something, that's a whole nother story. But there's no fear, right? So it's easy to pour yourself into them. Easy. And I get that. I'm getting that. It is. I can get that. But for me, I didn't come into motherhood with that void of needing to be filled. So I don't have that response. I'm loving her and I'm content with loving her even if she doesn't love me back. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's how I feel. And in a way that's very freeing. And I want to take that feeling into my next serious relationship of, I choose you, you choose me, and I'm going to love you I'm going to be free to love you despite how you may possibly not show up for me and how you might hurt me. Of course, I don't want that. Let's get clear now. I'm not going to stay for the bullshit, but I'm not going to go into it with this like armor on. I'm not going to go into it. Also, not going to go into it dumb either, right? With rose-colored glasses. But I'm going to go into it free in the sense of I'm going to just love you. And if you receive it, that's wonderful. And let's build on it. Let's grow. And if you don't, okay, life goes on and I'm going to keep going about me and still continue to be me. And that's what I mean about that, it being freeing. Loving her in this way is showing me that you can love freely, and I hope that makes sense. And
I love caring for her. I love just making sure she has everything she needs. I just do. I love seeing her grow. It's work, yes, but I enjoy it in the sense of that's how I show my love, right? Like pouring into her, nurturing her. It's freeing to me knowing that I can do that for her just because she chose me to be her mom. Ain't nothing else. Not because when she get older, she gonna be smart and she gonna be rich and she gonna do this for me. Nah, she can't do nothing for me now, right? Even now, ain't no payoff. I be like, girl, can I have a kiss? No. Can I have a hug? No. All right. And I go about my business. It doesn't hurt my feelings. She don't owe me nothing. When she gives me those things, it's wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. But she doesn't owe me anything, and that's the point that I want to make. And in addition to another thing that I want to carry into my next serious dynamic, that person doesn't owe me anything. I'm giving freely, and I hope they continue to give freely, and we continue to pour into each other freely without feeling obligated, but because you truly want to do it. And loving my daughter is making me see just all my past relationships differently, and my future ones also with a different lens of how once I find that person and we commit to each other, how I'm just gonna show up differently. I think my past relationship, the last one that I was in, I showed up pretty well. And I give myself the kudos. Like, I have to remind myself I showed up really well, even though my therapist, she had to kind of beat that into my head. But now I do feel I showed up really well. Like, I did the things, but you can't control other people's actions, right? But I also do see where I could have not showed up better, because I showed up really well, but showed up differently when the other person was showing me that we were on different pages. Saw the message for what it was.
Hey mama, are you a single mom looking for a supportive community? Join our Mommy and Me group designed just for you and your little one. Connect with other single mothers, share experiences, and build lasting friendships in a welcoming and understanding environment. Our group offers a safe space for you to share the joys and challenges of single motherhood, find support and encouragement from women who get it, and discover resources to help you and your family thrive. Come as you are, find your village, and empower yourself on this incredible journey of motherhood. Join our next group now. We can't wait to welcome you and your little one. Ready to join our community? Learn more and sign up today on Eventbrite, on our website, www.AJO Consulting Services, or email me at info@ajoconsultingservices.com to register.
And from love, with grace, just said all right and kept it pushing, right? As opposed to blindly like, I really, really care about this person. I love this person, and whatever other things I was saying to myself to excuse their behavior or the reasoning for what they were doing. And so those are the areas where I wish I would have showed up differently. And I also see the gaps of, how my love was taken and how I also want to make it clear moving forward. I see the gaps more clearly and am looking forward to how I'm going to love my life partner. I hope that made sense. Hope I'm not rambling. Well, these are the thoughts that I had in regards to this topic. Like, loving my daughter really is showing me just a different side of love that I started to uncover, but now I fully see the full picture. And it's exciting, honestly, because I want to see how it plays out. Like, I really truly want to see how, coming from a discerning, more healed, more evolved, more mature way of loving, more informed way of loving, how that can really change the trajectory of my next relationship. So after this episode, I think I want to do a little focus on what dating is looking like right now in general, and maybe even more specifically as a single mom or a single parent. And so definitely stay tuned and look forward to those episodes. Also, I'm looking to bring back some old voices / faces. I'm not 100% sure yet if it's going to be audio or video, but I plan on recording really soon with some folks that I've recorded with in the past. So also keep an ear out for that. Also, I am still hosting and conducting the Mommy and Me groups via my business, AJO Consulting Services. So if you're interested, by the time this is, active and live, I'll have posted 2 new dates on Eventbrite, or you can always go to my website to find out what's going on at www.ajoconsultingservices.com and find out what, things are happening. I'm planning on really launching a few things this month, and so definitely look out for that stuff. But the 2 new dates for the Mommy and Me groups will be on there. So definitely check that out and share that with anyone who you know might be interested if it doesn't apply to you. Till next time.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Oasis podcast. I hope you were able to find something that resonated with you on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube. Rate us and leave us a review and comment on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and YouTube. Share your favorite episode and like us on Instagram and Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, want to be a guest, or any show ideas, contact us at ajaysoasis@gmail.com. That's AAYJAYSOASIS@gmail.com, or direct message us on Instagram and Facebook.